Just going to reverse up into the shade.
Yeah. Yeah, she was really...
That didn't work. No, it's too... Okay, I got to go. I'll go forward. I tried. We'll let the redhead have it behind us.
With a show like Hot Brown Honey, it's like once you see it, you can't unsee it.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
It's burnt into my retina. Just those suits, Dad.
When people watch theatre together or participate in theatre together, their hearts start beating at the same time.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing.
We want to find a sponsor to be able to hook our audience up to do that.
Oh, look, I've brought you into a traffic jam. Ooh. This is pretty much a classic Perth tour here. I'm going to try and merge, and I won't be able to.
I've heard about the merging situation.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. This is like... Oh, no. There we see. How did you find people? Was it just you saw them and you liked them? Or?
Yeah, definitely. And lots of people we had, like, especially in our current cast right now, we've been working with for a long time. Like, even like with Offa, we already knew about her. We knew what she was doing. We stalked her.
So what about from your end, Offa? Do you remember what that was like? Do you remember meeting Lisa for the first time?
Yeah, like I was in a completely different field of work at the time. Like I wasn't like interdisciplinary.
It's like
I was going to be McDonald's wife, and then I just found out I would only just like the drive-through. That's it.
So what was the field?
Interdisciplinary art. So I was working with the collective.
You can't say that's your
catchy.
People. They zone out by the time you get to disciplinary. Yeah.
And the other thing is that I was a huge fangirl of Busty when she was in like one of Australia's few all-female lineup in like a kind of alternative grunge era in the 90s. Spitterfagger.
I know, I saw that. How do you say that? It's like you did the Prince thing and you went unnameable straight away.
Spitterfagger, yeah.
So your band name when you were a teenager was...
Spitterfagger.
Spitterfagger.
Where did that come from?
It's actually the electrons around an atom.
No! That's so geek science of you.
Yeah.
Why did you call yourself that?
Oh my gosh. I think a friend's brother, it was all crazy. There was a lot of...
You had a crush on a friend's brother and he was into science. And you were like...
There were a lot of science geeky styles going on.
Did you grow up with music, or did you?
Yeah, from from my background, like South African heritage, it was always a very intersectional life. So music in South Africa, there was a lot of music that was banned.
Really?
So, yeah. Under apartheid.
Not a band, band.
Like band.
Okay.
Like you couldn't get.
So you meant like lots of band music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But then there was lots of music in the culture.
Yeah.
And then coming to Australia, it's like we took that little world that my parents were in musically, and then they just played that for years.
Like a time capsule.
Yeah, like a time capsule. So Neil Diamond was allowed.
Did they want to leave South Africa, or they didn't want to leave?
No, they didn't want to leave.
Yeah, you can tell because they were like,
yeah.
Hold on!
Yeah, holding on to all the
Never
things.
forget! Amazing. Yeah, so tell me more about the evolution. So it was a club night and things were happening.
Yeah.
But now you're like a massive touring show. You're going international.
Yes.
You've got a whole lot of buckets on stage as a set does. I mean, you've made it.
I think so too.
That set is amazing.
It is, and it comes from complete innovation of going, we have no money.
Let's use some buckets.
It really does.
What could we possibly do?
And doesn't it look I think sometimes when you have too much money, you are lazy.
Yeah.
And you lose your creativity.
Yeah. Which, will
That's
never
what
be a
happens with
problem
plastic
for us.
surgery. There could be some great plastic surgery going on. And it's all just very nip-tuck. If people were doing it themselves,
Yeah.
it'd be very different. You really
The
see some
original.
variety.
Yeah.
So who designed the famous bucket set? 'Cause
Yes.
I don't think people would even realise that it's buckets. It
Yeah.
looks magnificent. It's like it is a hive.
Yeah. Well, we had dreams. Well, Lisa and I were like, imagine if we had a hive. And then the amazing Tristan Shelley designed kind of the structure for us, like, which we didn't think would happen, but it happened. And it was just like this beautiful looking structure. And then our lighting designer, Paul Lim, saw everything, saw the buckets and went, it's time to light every bucket.
Amazing.
And make it come alive.
And so how do they individually, because they make words
Yep.
and the buckets are basically, they're a team member.
Yeah, totally.
They're like a whole piece
Yeah.
of the set,
Yeah.
the team. So
Yeah.
how do they do all the...
It's very, like as we continue to go along, like, and in that vein of like keeping it original, it's very analog what's happening there. So every bucket has a...
Is Offa just backstage flicking them on and off?
Running around.
Hot,
no,
bright,
she's-
hot, blue.
It's that idea.
Yeah.
So Hot Brown Honey was born out of frustration, but also out of the fact that we were like, we are so funny and stupid and talented. It's like no one else is gonna make that space for us.
Yeah.
You know, so we have to make that space. And what does that look like? And how can we push all the things that we want to do, like, into this space? You know, nobody really wanted to touch Hot Brown Honey just a few years ago. They were like, too risky, like absolutely, you know,
Too
people
blunt.
won't understand.
Yeah.
You know,
Offensive.
all the things that you go, wow, they're the things now that people are going, they're the winning points. You know? Yeah.
And you had to, because you've had to produce and create yourself. You know, much like me telling everyone I'm famous.
Yeah.
A lot of work there does. So it's just relentless phone calls going, don't you know who I am?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yep.
is the grind getting easier or is it just getting bigger?
It's getting bigger.
Yeah. So you're still grinding just on a bigger scale.
Just on a bigger scale.
Still got problems, so they're just like escalating to next level.
Yeah.
Are the problems better than the problems you used to have?
They're just
Let me say that again. Are your problems better than the problems you used to have?
They're
Test.
all, I think it's so interesting too, because in the show we talk about things that happen in our lives. Those things still happen on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of like, and then in the show we're like, this is stage, this is our battlefield, this is like our safe space. So we can talk about those things in a more open way and in a more heightened way as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're still all there. But and the way we strategize around it now, we've got more strategies in place.
Yeah.
But that's a work in progress.
Self-care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, you talk about that in the show. You like decolonize and moisturize,
Moisturize,
which
yes.
I love. I was like, yes,
Yeah.
moisturize.
Yes.
And decolonize, but I'm all for the moisturizing as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
sometimes do it at the same time.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's it.
just layer it on. You know, did that come from a place like? Did you have moments where you did break, and then you were like,
Yeah.
wait, I need to moisturize more?
Yeah.
Is that's what
Definitely.
happened? You kind of learnt from those
yeah.
hard times.
Yeah, from breaking point, and also kind of going, how do we do this? Like, we're kind of forging new ground and forging new spaces and new pathways.
And yeah,
That
go
takes
on.
its toll.
It's
like,
it's
you
a big
know,
deal.
yeah.
Well, and it's because you're one of my favourite sayings. You're being the fame you want to see in the world.
Yes.
I love it. Put yourself into your selfie.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to pose like everyone's watching does, you know? I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
But also, it's like being the first kid in the family.
Oh, yeah.
You have to break everyone in.
Yep.
And then the second kid just has a laugh.
We do always say we give our love and respect to those who've come before us, because we know this has been it's
A
been
long
huge.
journey.
Yeah. And there are like people, like I always think to myself, where are my mentors? What happened to them?
Yeah,
and
where
I
are they now?
Yeah, I'm like, I know a lot of especially women of colour have been erased. Like, women in general, you get to 40 and suddenly you're not.
Then all of a sudden that's it.
Yeah, you're not seen. But for women of colour, I'm like, they haven't had those other pathways. So
why do you think that is? Like on a very like practical level.
Yeah.
What practically happens to them for that to? Is there a ceiling of there's not any more progression for them?
Yeah.
Or do they run out of Botox money and they're like, I can't leave the house?
I know for some people that I know, it has definitely been about, they've been told that many times that they don't look right, they don't, it's not what they wanted, it's not what, that's not what's seen in the theatre or whatnot, that they have just gone, look, now I'm going to continue to give back to this world and become a teacher, or,
So they shift off the stage to somewhere else.
Yeah. Which is like all the better and all the love for doing that, but it's also like no more. Yeah.
Well, isn't it like the new Black Panther musical? It's coming. It's coming.
Yes.
It's so fabulous, but it is strange to see a whole poster full of colour.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a slow realisation for people who maybe haven't realised how often that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Because you're very aware of it, you're pushing into that realm and saying no more colour. Yeah. But I think one of the realisations I had is when I had a friend have a baby and I went to get a little picture book for them and all the kids were white.
Yeah.
And I just realised, oh my goodness, I can't get this baby a book with anyone who's even remotely not a little tiny white kid.
Yeah.
And that's quite shocking because then you feel terrible. I felt sick inside.
Yeah.
But then that's something that everyone has to have their own realizations, so you can be a part of that realization for people as well.
I think it's also that thing of, when opportunities do become available, certain people in key positions don't really know who to contact or how to get into contact with that pool of people. So then you see things like way back in the days when they used to have white people play Asians. Then now you have like this whole thing of people of colour playing different
race bending.
And so
race bending.
So then it's that whole thing of, we don't know how to do this, so we'll do this, which is often actually quite offensive and
totally,
basically downright wrong. It's just like
Well, especially because there's not that many roles for people of diverse backgrounds.
And so it's that
other than the typical,
thing.
I love watching shows now where, what was that? I was watching, it was The Walking Dead, and I was like, this is just so great because there's such a diverse cast, but it's not like the Asian guy being the Asian guy.
Yeah.
The black guy being hip-hop guy. Yo, what up? I'm the guy. In this film, this is the role I play. Which is really kind of exciting.
Yeah.
But also kind of sad that it's so exciting.
It is 2018.
Do you ever get mixed feelings when you're excited about something that should have happened?
All the time.
All the time.
Should I celebrate or should I like, it's normal. This should just be normal. Whatevs. I'm not worried. This is you inside. So excited. Hello. Hi, Dale. Famous Sharron. This is how I promote. I've got a full team in a car behind me. It's amazing.
Excellent.
It's dreamy.
How does this work? Is this for like the web or television?
For the internet. Oh, well, this is just for funsies. For the internet. We are going to release it. Can you imagine? I never put you on screen. Like, you're part of the problem, Shaz. She interviewed me. She never released it. It's a mini series. So this is called a mini view. So we get a mini view of you, and you get a mini view of Perth, and then that's it. And it's in a mini.
No.